Okay, good evening. Welcome. Thank you for being here this evening, for coming back to the school after a long school day, some of you. I suspect that we have at least a few joining us on Zoom, probably quite a few, I would think. And we're grateful that you're here in person or watching through the stream. We don't expect this to be a very long meeting, but we do want to make sure that we leave enough time at the end for Q&A. We know that some of you have questions about the productions this year, and we'll leave some time for that as well after we get through some of the things that Mrs. Ulrich and I have prepared. So let's go ahead and start with the prayer, and then I'll maybe do some introductions, and then we'll dive in. So, Hayden, will you offer prayer for us?
Our Father in heaven, we're grateful to be here, to get gathered together, and grateful for Thee and this beautiful day that Thou hast given us. We're grateful for this drama program and the people who make it possible. Ask a special blessing on them as they go through their lives. We're grateful for Thy gospel and Thy Son, Jesus Christ. We say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thanks, Hayden. Okay, I'm going to make an unusual request here. This is really old school, but if there's someone who's watching the stream that has my phone number, will you text me and say, yes, the stream is working? And then that way I'll have some reassurance that I actually have people out there that are doing it. So I'm hoping that works. Well, welcome. My name is Rob Swenson. I am the Performing Arts Administrator. Is it really? Wow. That's incredible. I hope it's accurate. I am the Performing Arts Administrator for American Heritage School for the After School Performing Arts, and it is my joy and privilege to be working with the productions that we do here, the After School drama productions. This, of course, is Mrs. Amy Ulrich, who is our new full-time drama staff member. She is, give her a round of applause. She's taken on a lot of new things this year. She's always been directing our high school musical and assisting with the junior high musical, and this year she's doing sixth grade drama full-time, and she is assisting with logistics and behind the scenes and payments and ordering and all of those things. We decided it would make a lot of sense to have someone that is really close to all of those things doing most of those things, and so she's doing a lot of behind the scenes logistics and stuff to coordinate for Performing Arts. And what else are you doing? Did I hit it all? If you want her to do anything else, she's got plenty of free time. So if you haven't seen the new drama room, you really should step upstairs. Sorry, I'm going to send them on a tour. But we've never had an actual, a really fully furnished with stage extensions and everything drama room. And she's done a really beautiful job of creating a beautiful space for the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders that have her classes. So we're grateful for Mrs. Ulrich. She's a treasure to have here, and those of you who work with her don't need to hear that. You already know that. Do you have a question? I saw your hand up. Yeah. Oh, we're going to get to the Q&A. She's getting right to the Q&A. Spoiler, I'm not going to get there yet, but we're going to keep you on pins and needles for that one. So if he were here, I would also introduce a few other people, actually. Mr. Wallstad, Paul Wallstad, who is our high school drama teacher, who is also directing the middle school musical and directing, for the first time this year, the high school play. And so he is in productions with the church. He's been at Nauvoo all summer working on the Nauvoo pageant. He's still there for just a few more days, and then he'll be back to join us. But he also is just one of those people that we just pray every day will stay at American Heritage School because we love them so much, and is it great? If you've worked with him, you know. Yep. Also, Mr. Clark and Mr. Morgan, who are our tech directors, are part of our staff as well. They do an incredible job. Both of them have backgrounds in professional theater and working with the church. It really is just amazing when I take a step back and look at the team that we have here and what we do. It's really a blessing to be part of it, and a blessing for our students to be able to associate with these people that love drama and that also love the restored gospel. If you've been out into the world and you've been in other drama productions or you've been in this world, you know that is not a given. And to have these people that care so much about not just teaching drama and teaching acting, but also teaching Christ-like character is really unique, and we're grateful to have the people that we have. Tonight we're going to just go over the plan for the production. Some things have changed about our calendar. Some things have also changed in terms of our participation, and I'll hit some of those details as well. And I'm going to give Mrs. Ulrich probably the majority of the time to talk about the details of the productions. But before I do, I just want to kind of, again, while I was driving here, I was thinking about what a blessing it is to be here, and I was thinking about something that I learned recently, a fact that I learned recently about Nauvoo. This surprised me, and I had to look it up. I looked beyond ChatGPT to make sure that this was an accurate fact. But do you all know what the fifth building was of all the public buildings and all of the after the homes and everything that were built in the city of Nauvoo? What was the first one on the list after the temple and the Red Book store and the 70 House and some of those other administrative buildings? It was a theater. It was a performance hall. And I love this quote by Brigham Young. Get ready. This is a quote by Brigham Young. You always have to brace yourself. If I were placed on a cannibal island and given the task of civilizing its people, I should straightway build a theater. And so the impact that these productions have, not just on on individual students, but on the culture of the school, is really immeasurable. He went on to say, upon the stage of a theater can be represented in character evil and its consequences, good and its happy results and rewards, the weakness and the follies of man, the magnanimity of virtue, and the greatness of truth. The stage can be made to aid the pulpit in impressing upon the minds of a community an enlightened sense of a virtuous life, also a proper horror of the enormity of sin and just dread of its consequences. The path of sin, with its thorns and pitfalls, its gins and snares, can be revealed, and how to shun it. So this is an interesting quote, because I can tell you when we're choosing productions for the year, it's sometimes challenging to find the right productions to do here. We're very cognizant of content. We're very cognizant of making sure that language and innuendo and costumes and those kinds of things are above board and wholesome. That's one really unique and thing that we don't often think enough about here. But we also want to make sure that we're telling stories that tell truth and stories that reflect Christ-like character and reflect growth and reflect goodness. And not all of those stories are all good characters. You can't have a good story without some bad characters, right? And like Brigham Young said, some of the, reflecting some of that, the consequences of sin. So we just want you to know, before she kind of talks about these productions, you already know what they are, but we've had a lot of conversations and a lot of discussion and frankly a lot of prayer about these productions. I know Mrs. Ulrich is the one that spends the most time on her knees thinking about productions. What is the right production for this year? Who are the right people, and how do we put this together? And it's all with an aim of teaching and building character. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn the mic. Oh, I got to hit there's two things on the slide behind me that you've been thinking about. Okay, so here's two things that are, you're good. Two things that are changing significantly this year. Our participation fee for drama productions is going up significantly. Last year, the cost was $110. I think it's been consistent for the past couple of years. And the reason for that, I'll just kind of give you a behind-the-scenes, budgeting picture. The reality of those kinds of things is that we're simply just giving you a really good deal for the past couple of years. In terms of administrative load and the people and the time and the costumes and the sets and the props and all of those things, it just wasn't priced correctly. How many of you have been involved in any athletic events here at the school? Athletic teams here, okay? How does this compare to an athletic team typically at the school, Sarah? It's still a very good deal, right? In terms of the amount of time that you get to spend one-on-one with that coach or with that director, I would say this is still a superior deal. I think you should do athletics, by the way. I'm a huge fan of athletics, and we at the American Heritage School believe that you should, have your finger in all of those pies and do all kinds of things. But that's really the simple fact of the matter is we were budgeting and trying to figure out expenses and how to make this work. We had just not been pricing it correctly for a couple of years. Having said that, we do not want this to be a financial hardship for anyone. I should say more clearly, we don't want anyone to say, this is a barrier that I can't cross, and so I can't be in the musical, or I can't do this other activity. So please come and talk to us. We have the ability to help you. We want to help you if you have financial need so that you can participate in any of the productions this year, okay? Is there another slide about calendar? That's it? The only other thing that I was going to hit before I give the mic over to Mrs. Ulrich, the other big question that you might have, elephant in the room, is that we have changed our performance calendar. There are still 4 productions, as you can see up here, but the timing has changed significantly. We no longer have 2 high school musicals, which is something that we had been piloting and trying for the past 2 years. We've been doing these productions for over 17 years, and we've always had 1, and we've tried 2 for the past 2 years. Wonderful, wonderful productions, great experiences, but when we've reflected as a staff and as a support team and as administration on the impact, the current facility that we have, the impact on other programs and over-programming and wanting to be sensitive to families, we made the decision that it was best to just have 1 high school musical during the school year, as well as a high school play, a middle school musical, which you'll see as you can see is much later than it has been, right? Typically that happens in February, early March. And then, new for this year, a summer musical, okay? I think you're going to talk about summer musical, so I'll leave the questions hanging there. So.
Awesome. All right. We could not do any of this without amazing administration that supports us. So if you can please give a little bit of love to Mr. Swenson, who has done a beautiful job. Mr. Hunsaker has been supporting us for years, and Mr. Swenson took this on last year, and it was huge. It's a huge change and a huge undertaking, and we are so blessed to have him, and are grateful, very grateful for the time that he puts in. I'm just going to go through these quickly. First, we have our fall musical. Auditions for this are next week. Next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, with callbacks on Friday. And I'll go over later when I talk about auditions, really how to go ahead and sign up for that. But this show is open to grades 9th through 12th. So all of our high schoolers. Okay, and that's performance dates up there. So main themes, when we were looking at this, we have, I'm just gonna go over a couple of these. I grew up loving this, my kids grew up loving this movie. It's been suggested to me multiple times, and every single time I go, thanks, I'll look into it. And I'd never seen it on stage. And I have now seen it on stage. And from head to toe was told that this is what we needed to do this year. And the end of this production absolutely moved me to tears. And all the themes that were within it, so different, but the same as the movie version. But some of the things that really stood out to me, divine identity and purpose. Ariel trusts that there's more, and she moves toward it, just as we teach that we are children of a loving Heavenly Father with eternal purpose. Her conscience, I believe that's one of these up here. So liberty, so these are different themes. I did a full comparison of our seven principles of civil liberty, of 7 principles of, oh my gosh, personal is the word I was forgetting. Personal and civil liberty. I've been teaching this and having my students memorize it for the last 3 years. You would think my brain would connect. Welcome to the first week of school. But some of the things that stood out to me, the Christ-like character, that one, and atonement. You're like, what does the Little Mermaid have anything to do with that? King Titan's climactic moment. He sacrifices his life to save his daughter. Ends up not dying, but Ursula, the true villain, Ursula, the person that has made them all think that everything above the sea is bad, is found out. But he is there to sacrifice his daughter. And what's amazing at the end is he is not sacrificed. Ursula is defeated, and we have a unity of two worlds, the world above and the world below. And they sing about it. And it is just the most beautiful ending to the musical. And then conscience and light. She knew something wasn't right. She felt like, everybody under the sea was being lied to by Ursula. Well, your mom was killed by the people up there. That's how Satan works. But she knew, and she followed that. And that will be what we're presenting on stage to our audiences. Any questions on that one? Yes, they will be modestly dressed. All right, excellent. Moving on, winter play. I'm going to touch on this one just a little bit. Mr. Wallstad's going to be directing this one. It's funny. It's quirky. It's filled with all kinds of cool themes. Again, we went through and touched on a few things, but one of them that really stood out to me was the Christ-like character. And that Mrs. Savage, who is the main character, she embodies patience, compassion, forgiveness towards the residents in her home, and even towards her stepchildren who were wronging her. And she lifts other spirits through humor and generosity. And this story is about a battle between her and her stepchildren over money, over house, over everything. But the people that live in this house are unique in so many different ways. And their divine identity, Mrs. Savage recognizes the inherent worth of each patient in the cloisters, treating them with kindness, respect, despite society labeling them insane. They're all quirky, they're all a little different, and she loves them, and she gives them a place to be themselves. What else do we want to teach our kids? Is that everybody's unique, everybody has divine worth, and different's okay. That's all I'm going to share about Curious Savage. It can have a cast of 18 to 20, so it will be a limited cast, and so we are making it only available to grades 10th, 11th, and 12th. Yes. The plan right now is one cast. Mr. Wallstad and I have talked about double casting and even double casting leads. I've done it before, and it caused massive division. And it caused division. It caused it caused bullying. Because then you have everybody go, well, if they took so-and-so and so-and-so from this cast and so-and-so and so-and-so from this cast and put it together, it would have been the perfect cast. But oh my gosh, you definitely want to go this night because that person's horrible. It caused problems in comparison that we don't want to highlight at American Heritage School. And so he may do it and do it well. I don't know. I personally, I don't like what it's done to my casts in the past. Any questions on that? Yes?
Father, back up to the Little Mermaid, is it going to be a limited cast as well?
No, all inclusive. Everyone that auditions will be cast. And so it is an all-inclusive production as well as our middle school musical. Those are our two all-inclusive productions. Okay? Great question. Yeah, perfect. Sounds great. All right, here we go. Oliver, so excited to direct this with Mr. Wallstad this year. I've always been in the kind of the production background, and so I'm excited to be part of the directing team for this year. So many great themes: family, love, acceptance, conscience. Oliver doesn't want to steal. He doesn't want to do what they're telling him is the thing to do. He just wants family. He just wants to know what love is, and he just wants to live his best life. And major opposition with the bad guys. If you've seen the full version of Oliver, the difference between Oliver and Oliver Jr. is it takes away the abuse. It takes away the hard aspects of the villain characters, if that makes any sense. And focuses, it literally says that their focus was to make it kid-friendly for all ages. And for performers, 3rd through 12th grade. So just to let you know that is why we're doing the junior version, and that we love the show. It's fun, it's silly, it has some great messages, but we did recognize that we wanted to do the junior version. Any questions on that one? Awesome. Oh yeah, questions at the end. Just kidding. Sorry, I'm a teacher. I always ask for questions. Summer musical, this is something new. Huh?
You said I'm a choir teacher. I never ask for questions.
I know, ever. Summer musical, we are excited about this one. Let me tell you how it looks. We will audition and cast it in May, before school is out, for those interested. Then they will get their scripts, their parts. I will most likely work with the leads, here and there as it fits in their schedule and my schedule throughout the summer. But then we will gather with a completed set and costumes ready to go, and put it all together with rehearsals and everything for 2 weeks, July 20th through August 1st, with our performances July 30th, July 31st, and August 1st, right before Foundations Week, which would then be the week before school starts. Helpful? Okay. So it's going to be workshop style. We're going to come in, we're going to hit everything hard, and create a musical. And it'll be really fun. These are some takeaways. It's essentially a story about redemption. Recognizing values in others, choosing responsible freedom over selfishness, forgiveness. Oh my goodness. There's a lot of forgiveness that goes along in this production, and looking for people's strengths in families, and what strong families can do, and the influence they can have on new people to a community. And so it just is a fantastic show with amazing music, and it's a classic. And so we really wanted to do it. They've done it here before, and I'm excited to do it again. It's been, I think, 7 years since it's been done. All right, auditions. Here is the audition information for Little Mermaid. Like I said, it's next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. What you can do is go to the AHS website, go to programs, drama. That's our page. All things drama are on our drama page at the American Heritage, AmericanHeritageSchools.org. Org. Okay. So it's all there. You don't have to do anything but sign up for a time and show up. I will be teaching a song. They will sing that song. We will read different characters from different scenes throughout the show. Then, if we need to see more, we will ask them to come to callbacks on Friday. Now, I've given leads to people that didn't get invited to callbacks. It could be that we just were like, okay, that person's in that role, enough said. So don't think that I didn't get called back, so I'm not going to get a part. I've given major roles, minor roles, and ensemble roles to people that weren't asked to come to callbacks. It just means that we need to see something specific or something a little bit more from those individuals. And again, no preparation for that. We'll be teaching. Why do I do it this way? Most people, auditions, you have to prepare a monologue, you have to prepare 16 measures of a song or 22 measures of a song. I've been teaching in California. I taught in California at the high school for 22 years. And doing musicals there, and it leveled the playing field. Not everybody has access to sheet music. Not everybody has access to a voice teacher. Not everybody has access or even knows, what do you mean 22 measures? I don't know what that means. I don't read music. And they would stand up and sing happy birthday. And it wasn't equal. When someone's up there singing something from Hamilton and another person stands up and sings happy birthday, and I'm supposed to judge that. So I started doing my auditions this way. And wow, the amount of students that auditioned tripled. And I went from having like 35, 40 kids audition to over 100. And I cast them all. It just takes away the stress of preparation. It levels everybody out, and also I get to see how quickly that they learn. And it's kind of a beautiful thing. So that is next week. Nothing like starting the second week of school strong. Participation guidelines and respect for time. I'm going to talk about the guidelines. If you're doing a sport and you know that I am doing girls soccer and it's going to conflict, but I really want to be a part of the show, on your audition form, which I'll have outside the room the day of auditions, right, I'm doing girls soccer, but I really want to be a part of this. So what does that look like? I'll talk to you and say, hey, how many ensemble numbers do you want to be a part of? You just want to be a part of Under the Sea? Awesome. And then we will figure out a way for either a dance captain or whatever to incorporate and catch you up. We want everybody that wants to be a part of this to be able to be a part of it. If you are, I really need to get a job, but I kind of really want to do the show. If I get offered a major role, I will do the show and wait to get a job. Let me know. Now, does that mean you're automatically going to be more considered than anybody else for a major role? No, but it does mean that if I'm wanting to offer you a supporting role, that I have a conversation with you and say, hey, this is what I'm looking at. Are you willing to take this on and still be a part of this production? After the audition process, raise your hand if you have totally gone into auditions, those of you that have done this with me, gone into audition, dead set on this, I really want this role. And then by the time the audition process was over, there were about 3 other roles that you're like, oh no, I'd be cool with that, I'd be cool with that, I'd be cool with that. Raise your hand. Anyone? Raise them high. Don't be shy. Okay. It's a thing. Go through the process. Let me know what you're thinking so that we can have a conversation before I put out a cast list and then have to change the cast list and then change the cast list because everybody's coming back and saying, yeah, I thought about it and it's not going to work. And that happens, and that's kind of a pain because then whoever gets that role feels like they were the second choice. And we don't want to do that to anybody. Okay? Respect for time. Do you want me to cover that or do you want to? All right. In past shows, we've gotten a little bit of feedback. We're always asking for feedback because we can always do better, right? And sometimes people felt like I sat around the entire time and I never even got on stage. And I know that happened a couple times during the middle school musical. And that won't happen again. We put together, I probably, for Fiddler, spent about 9 hours putting together the rehearsal schedule for Fiddler. Normally for a full-blown musical, anywhere between 8 to 10 hours on just the rehearsal schedule and making sure that I'm giving enough time for this to be done and this to be done and this to be done. And I have the choreographer going in this room and I've got the director in this room and we're doing music in this room, or we're doing this and this at the same time, but we're not using the same people. And that we get through the entire show and then have plenty of time to run it for comfort. So we will do our very best. Obviously, when we start running Act 1 or running Act 2 or running the entire show, there's going to be time that you're sitting in the audience because you're not in every scene. And all we say is use your time wisely. Bring your homework, read a book, do as much as you can. They always choose social instead. But it's not because I didn't tell them to not do their homework. General announcement, right there. okay? We always encourage them to be utilizing their time. We're teachers. School's first. School's first. Well, actually, family's first here. And I love that I can say that. Okay? Family first. School, we've got this. Okay? So we will do our best to respect your time and to respect your children's time. Parent, volunteer support, we need you. Oh, please. We please need you. There's so many talented people in our AHS community, and we would love your support and your help. And guess what? You get service hours for every bit of it. So please, there's a QR code there. This is going to be a general parent survey. It'll ask you for your basic information. It'll ask you what show you would like to help with and what area of expertise you'd like to help with. There's an other. If there's something on there that you're amazing at and you want to help with, please fill it in or send me an email. We would love to make you a part of our production team. And so I don't know what the G is. Hopefully it's not screwing anything up. Okay, did it work? Yes. It's only my second time doing a QR code. Don't tell my boss. I did it through Canva this time, which I've never done one through Canva. So I guess that it's not my only time, but yeah. Anyway, questions and answers. For me, for...
Let's start with an applause.
Oh. If you are interested in the actual full documents of my, of every way each of these shows align with the 7 principles, I'm more than willing to share that with you. We did put a lot of thought and time into selecting these shows. And the other thing we really keep in mind is the talent we have. Do we have a bunch of juniors and seniors that are classical singers? Or do I have, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, and the majority of them are just amazing character actors? We really want to highlight what they do best and give them an overall awesome experience. And I guess I just want to put that out there as well.
Thank you, Mrs. Ulrich. I was just going to say a couple things before we do Q&A. So I just want to, first of all, let you know that we'll maybe post that link. We'll post it on the drama page for those of you that are watching online that are trying to figure out how to hold your phones up to your screens. And we'll put it up there, so don't worry, you can put your phone down. Then also, I just want to say one more word about the commitment piece. Mrs. Ulrich is just wonderful and so understanding when you talk to her. I grew up in a culture and in a program where the drama teacher said, are you signing up or aren't you? Because if you're signing up, you take the part you get and you're happy with it. So I had to make that decision, right? If you're the ensemble, you were the ensemble, right? And she's so much more understanding and flexible. She understands that you've got to make choices, right? And that you've got different priorities. And so please do just talk to her ahead of time. If she has all of your information about your work schedule and your preferences and all of those things, and then she casts the list based on those preferences, please commit. Please be finishers. Please don't even think of it as an option to come and dip your toe in the water and then leave 2 or 3 weeks later. That really does make productions like this difficult. It makes it difficult for choreographers, for directors, for tech people, costumes. Okay, so I'm asking you, please. You're not being forced to do this. We hope you do. But if you do, give your director all the information and then commit. Please stay committed to these productions, okay? All right.
Let me just a side note on that. I guess because we're streaming, I'm supposed to use this. Side note on that. Raise your hand if you've been to a show where the leads were spectacular, but the chorus was so-so. Anyone? Okay, not here. Not here, ever. We are actually, people say, wow, your ensembles are awesome. I'm like, yeah, because our talent is incredible. Go ahead and try and choose between these amazingly talented kids. We use a lot of divine. We pray about it. We really do. But a great production has a strong ensemble and needs a strong ensemble and a strong cast all the way across the board. And it matters. I was in ensemble. I didn't get a lead until my senior year in high school. So I learned the value of being in an ensemble and the value of a great ensemble. That's where you can grow. That's where you can learn. So.
And it's a lot more fun, too, than learning all those lines. It's a lot of stress to learn a lot of lines. That's great. Okay, at this point, I want to thank you again for your time. Thank you for making time for us. I hope you've answered some questions that you came with and you have more information than you had when you walked in. If you need to head out, you're welcome to, if you just want to leave quietly, but now we'll take questions, Q&A. What questions do you have for us? Yes? Great question. Auditions for the middle school musical are going to be in January. Are they that late? We don't do it in...
We might do it in December and then start rehearsals in January.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to meet with Mr. Wallstead on that, but we'll get dates out as soon as...
TBD, yeah. Probably January, actually. Sorry, I was thinking of the old timing. It'll be able to be after Christmas, so that, yeah, it's hard to do things in December, so, yeah. Yes? Great question.
And then also follow up along with that is, should we block out fall break to be here present for rehearsal during fall break?
Let me repeat her question for those watching online. So the question was, are there specific, as far as rehearsal schedule, are there specific days of the week that rehearsals typically take place? And then also, as far as family calendaring, are there any scheduled breaks like fall break that participants would need to plan to be around for?
Beautiful question. I do not have rehearsals during fall break. I do not have rehearsals during spring break. That's your family time. That's your family time, and you need it. And I get it. And so we actually schedule around that. Our main full cast rehearsals are on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3:30 to 6:30. Those are our main. I try and put our biggest rehearsals, like our full cast ones, ensemble ones, on those 2 days as much as possible. I do also schedule rehearsal on Wednesdays and Fridays from 3:30 to 6:30. Nothing will be past 6:30 until the week of the production. But I also know that improv students that are on the improv troupe have rehearsal from 3:30 to 4:30 on Wednesday and Friday, and they will be excused from those rehearsals, and I'll do my darndest to not schedule them that first hour. But that's also when I try and do a lot of like small scene work, small group works, work with soloists, so that those rehearsals are a little bit less. And after I put a rehearsal schedule out, if your child has a conflict that I didn't see, or that come talk to me, because I could easily, if I know ahead of time, I can say, hey, can we swap these two things on the calendar? Hey, can we swap this? It's when they go, ooh, I didn't realize we're leaving town and you have scheduled 2 hours with me and you can't do anything that you scheduled because my character won't be there. It happens. Happens a lot. Happened. So the better communication, and the more I encourage them to go through and highlight their rehearsal calendar and then take a picture of it, because we all know it just goes on the phone anyway, because they're going to lose a piece of paper, and give it to you guys so that you as parents know what they feel that their commitment is. And we try so hard to stick to that calendar. There will be a few Saturday morning rehearsals, and we'll let you know what those look like. If you have a conflict on Saturday mornings, put it down. We're not unreasonable. Great question. Did I cover all of that? Okay. Any other questions? Yeah. Oh, I didn't even get into that. Music Man, our goal is for it to be all-inclusive. Our goal is for it will be open to all, this is what we're looking at right now, is all currently enrolled, including graduating seniors, students of American Heritage. We're opening it to our online students and our online high school students and our part-time students. Did I cover that? Okay. We are yes. And it's 6th through 12th grade. Now, if I get I know, crazy. But if I get like 200 people audition, then I will need to limit. The biggest cast I've had here on our stage in our facility is 110. 110. With Annie, I had about the same for Beauty and the Beast. I think I had 106 for Beauty and the Beast. So is it doable? Yeah, we can do it and give them opportunities to shine, and create an awesome experience. More than that would be challenging. And so we might have to then, just kind of break that down a little bit. But I don't foresee that happening. I mean, if it does, cool, problem to have. So did that answer that? Okay.
Can I ask a question about that? Just that we've never done this before, so we don't know which way it's going to go. We could have 200 or 20. How many of you in this room are thinking that you will probably do the summer musical? Let me see. Oh, that's a lot of hands. Okay. We know summers are busy, and those 2 weeks are like I think you mentioned it's like a camp, right? So you're not going to FSY for one of them, right? You have to be there for those 2 full weeks at the end of the summer. Questions? Yeah.
Does that participation be the same, or is that?
It's the same. It's exactly the same. Great question. The $250 is the same participation fee for the summer musical.
Any idea what time practices would be? Would they be longer because you have short time?
You know what? That is a great question because I've kind of gone back and forth with it in my head. I think I will know more after auditions because I'll know what I'm looking at, what the needs are. If we have a huge cast, I'm obviously going to need more time. And so I think we're looking at like a 9 to 1 if I don't have a ginormous cast, or 9 to 3 if I have a huge full cast. Just so that we can have that, yeah, it just gives you an idea. It's kind of like during the school day-ish hours, but in the summer. Okay?
Question regarding athletics. This is somebody texting who's watching online right now.
Yes.
They're wondering about how historically theater students have balanced the theater program with their active athletic activities.
Okay, so they're asking about how theater students have balanced their activity in athletics and theater at the same time. I have had some do it beautifully, and I've had some do it very poorly. And it's all about communication. It's all about communication. We always try to put the athletics first. The only time, actually our goal is to put what they're doing, but try and also get a balance. And coaches are pretty darn understanding and normally pretty helpful. Communication is the huge part. Hey, here's my schedule. And that's why my scheduling takes me 8 to 10 hours, because I try really hard to make as little conflicts as possible. I've had people say, hey, and they have a bigger part and they can't come, but they set times with me, because, outside of the schedule, so that, and come and meet over the weekends and we catch them up. I'm willing to do whatever I can to help them be successful at both, because my children were able to do both. And it matters. It makes for a well-rounded child. So, says I owned a gymnastics gym. So sports, I grew up doing them. My kids all did them, but they also did theater. And I want to make that available.
Yeah, she said basically it all, but when she says communication, I want to add it's got to happen on both ends, right? The reality is there are some teams and some situations where if you say, "Oh, I'm not going to be here for practice on Tuesday, Thursday, or whatever," they're going to say, "Well, yeah, you can do both, but you just won't play. You're going to sit on the bench." And so our coaches, I think more than any other institution in the world, are trained on this whole child approach, right? And so they are very supportive. They want students at AHS to be able to do multiple things, but we all know that there is baseline commitments for things. That the reality is we don't all have unlimited time in the day. So I would say talk to the coach specifically and be really clear with that coach. Say, don't use the word "can I do both?" Say, if we were to do the musical and this at the same time, what does that look like? What are the implications of that? What could they, yeah, and there is an official contract that we have them sign so that both parties are really clear that that student is participating in both, right? But does that help? A little bit, yeah. And this is so unique, right? I mean, if you've been to a public school, I mean, great public schools. We love public schools, but this is just not a reality there. If you're doing basketball, that's all you're doing. Period. Right? There's no time for anything else. If you're doing drama, that's all you're doing. Right? And there's enough students that you can specialize them in one direction, and teachers don't really care to share. We care to share because we love students and we want them to have well-rounded experiences. Yes?
During the Annie Middle School musicals, some parents were surprised that they had to provide part of the costume. You might have already covered that, but I just wanted to let parents know that they might need to provide part of the costume.
The comment was during the Annie musical last year, there were some parents that may have been surprised that they were asked to provide some of the costuming. I think across all of the productions there is a possibility of that. I better give it to the expert here, but I think that's a great comment to make sure that that's transparent.
Yeah. That's a fantastic comment. The only thing I've asked when I do the costuming for the high school musicals is I might say, hey, a black undershirt, do you have one? And if they don't, hey, anybody have one that they can borrow? I think Annie was so ginormous, and you guys did a beautiful job with those costumes, by the way. A lot of the people that did that are here, and we're so incredibly grateful. We do our best with the fee that you give to cover that as much as possible. And we're building a costume loft that we've been doing for the last 4 years that I've been here, and so we're excited to continue building that. And so we try and borrow, we try and not have much come out of your pocket. I might say, hey, you need white tights, and I've even had someone say, I don't have a way to get that, and I said, okay, and that's when it comes out of my budget. And so we try and do as much as we can to alleviate that, because you are paying this cost, and this cost is getting higher. One thing that we cannot cover with our cost is food, and they're hungry. And so we may still ask for snack donations and food for the meals the week of the performances. We will just need to still ask for that donation because it's just not in the budget. Prices for everything has gone up, as we all know, and so including the costs of theater, the royalty costs, everything goes up, and so my royalty costs can be more than $6,000, can be around $6,000. And that's a big chunk. And that's something we have to do for legal purposes. And so we're using your funds as in the best way and the most frugal way possible. We may end up making a lot of things by hand with parents' help so that we can use those funds to the fullest. Does that answer?
Just to clarify what you said, that was all correct, but it's not a requirement. Like, we're not going to say, okay, it's your day, parent, to provide snacks for the cast. That's something that's done voluntarily. Yeah.
I cannot be there. I want to help. I can send to Costco packs of snacks with my child. Or, hey, can I contribute funds for the meals? And then I have a parent go, I would love to organize all of that. And that's how it works. And it magically appears, and the children are happy. And if they are happy and not hangry, then everything just goes smoother. And again, we don't do that until later in the rehearsal process, when we're having longer rehearsals. And so.
Don't let us hold you hostage here. We won't be offended. If your questions have been answered, you can go ahead and just head out. Thank you for being here tonight. If you have more questions, we'll stick around. But any other? That's true. I have my phone. Does anybody want to text me a question here, and I'll talk to you via? No. Thank you. It's going to be a great school year. It's been a great one so far. 2 days down. Thank you so much. Yeah, Zoom participants, or I should say YouTube participants, if you have any questions, you can text me, 801-372-9465, or you can email me or Mrs. Ulrich. We're happy to answer your questions.
My cell phone number is 831-207-2875, 831-207-2875. Feel free to text or call or email at aulrich@ahsmel.
QVC. Okay, thank you.